Okay, we're recording.
Hi everyone, starting out today doing some circles with our stone template set. This is Pocket Pebbler 1 and 2, half-inch circle, 3/4 inch finished circle, and a 1-inch finished circle, a 1.5, a 2, and a 2.5 in the bigger one. So I'm going to start with the bigger one, give you a few ideas, and actually we'll start with the small one. Now, they come apart like a puzzle and go back together like a puzzle. And one side's supposed to be loose. I normally put a piece of blue painter's tape across that key, or that puzzle piece, to help hold it in place. And as time goes on, they do loosen up. So, a little bit of blue painter's tape, good blue painter's tape, always helps out. So, take it apart. Put it around your hopping foot. Put it back together. And I'm already tacked in and anchored in and ready to go. So, as you can see, there's registration marks on the template, and it basically divides the template in quarters. So I'm going to put the first mark here and the second mark on that registration line, and that'll allow me to do basically pebbles or pearls or little circles, whatever you want to call them, in a straight line. And if you go around them 1.5 times, it allows you to chain them. I normally go around them twice, actually 2.5 times. It traps the batting in place better. Plus, then I don't have to remember every other side. It just works out a little better for me. So this gives you the ability to run circles, like in a sashing or in a border, in a straight line. Circles for me, a little boring. So, to spice them up a little bit, and turn them into marbles by canting the ruler just a little bit. A little different look to it. You can try overlapping them a little bit. I've done that before. Just kind of depends on what type of quilt you're working on. If it's more modern or more traditional. If you're working in like a full cloth or something that's pieced. But as you can see, they work up pretty fast. Once again, comes apart like a puzzle. A lot of times in a straight line, in a border or sashing works out really well. But if you have a wider border, it's nice to kind of give yourself a little bit of a flight path or a curved path to run the circles on. So this time, let's get out of here and move to our next spot. And this time we'll start with the little one, which is 1/2 inch finished. And we'll do a couple switch sizes, and once again, registration marks. Putting one at the bottom and one on that line. And this will allow me to curve and twist and turn those little pebbles, which will give you the illusion that it's running on a curved path. So do 3 or 4 little ones. Pop it apart. Go up to the 3/4 inch circle. Yeah, that's the 1 inch. Oh well, we'll go to 3/4 next. Same thing, registration line here and here. Switch sizes again. This time we'll go to the 3/4 inch hole, which is the middle hole. Same thing, registration lines. This would be a great look on a baby quilt, anniversary quilt, you know, something you want to kind of whimsy and fun. And that kind of gives you an idea there with some more circles or pebbles. Get out of that spot. So, kind of an idea in a sashing up and around a corner. If you were going to run them, you know, the pebbles or pearls or circles and totally fill that sashing, that circle wouldn't quite work. It would fall inside it, but it wouldn't fill it. You'd want to use probably the 1.5 would probably fill it real nice for you if you were going to run them in a straight row or really wanted to fill it up. I like to kind of do this little bit of twisting and turning in my sashings, then I don't ever have to worry about circles landing on corners or doing any measuring or figuring. You know, whatever works for you. This works out really well in modern quilts, having them float in a sashing versus fill a sashing. So, kind of give you an idea up and around the corner with that. And I'm just going to eyeball it now. I don't like to mark because I got to get it off. So not much of a marker. I do when I have to. So they come right down and touch that sashing. You could even run them off a little bit so they look like they're hiding underneath the edge. Then it doesn't really matter what happens in the corner. You could switch sizes if you wanted. You could turn those into those little marbles again. Lots of different ideas. You could do circle and circle. That marble look. So you kind of get the point there that if you float them in a sashing or a border, they're a lot more forgiving. You don't got to do any math. You don't have to do any measuring. and then they float in that said space, which is kind of a cool look. A couple more quick ideas with the circles before I do that pre-marked block there. Come down here, and they work up great for like serpentines to do feathers off of. And I normally use the bigger one if I'm going to lay out serpentines, but any of the sizes will work. There's that blue painter's tape across the keys. So what I'm going to do now is a half circle on either side of that line. Registration marks on the half, and we're going to go up, slide the ruler, slide the ruler, which would give you a perfect serpentine that if you wanted to go back and feather or embellish some other way, maybe leaves and vines. But really, really, really easy, lays out a perfect or nearly perfect serpentine spine that you could build off of. You could embellish different ways. You could do different stitching on it. But that's always a nice look. Let me get the machine out of here for a minute. I'll come down to this marked line. Get our bobbin thread brought up. Also we'll do, and I'm going to do the little bit bigger ones because they're just a little easier to see. Yeah, we'll go to the biggest one, I guess. And when I'm using the stone templates, if I'm working in the biggest circle or the smallest circle, I try really hard for my hand to be over the bigger portion of the ruler. It just helps with stability a little bit whenever I can. So this time we're going to do swags, mini swags. So up, you're going to pause there on that line, slide the ruler down just a little bit. You can put registration marks of your own. I generally eyeball it, so I'm not trying to make every one of them perfect. I just want them all to be similar. Slide down again. And then repeat. Or do them singly, and if you line the registration marks here down through the center of the ones that I just made, get like a scallop look, which is once again kind of neat in a sashing or border. So we've done quite a few things with circles. Let me do type like a Spyro Graph type of medallion for you. And I've got YouTube videos on doing Spyro Graphs. I've got a video for doing Spyro Graphs, and we'll be doing a lot more of them later with my nested shapes versus my stone tools. The stone tools were more designed for doing backgrounds and stuff behind applique and embroidery, for doing, you know, basically filler work without having to freehand it all. And what I've done here is I've taken our 6-inch design square, marking square, and all I've done is lay out the grid work to start a Spyro graph. Once again, I'm going to put the registration lines on the marked lines, and all I'm going to do is work from center out. There's one. I'm going to come down and do the bottom one. My needle's still in the center of that square. All I've done is move the circle down to the next spot and line the registration lines up. So that gives you 2 circles. We're going to come up over here and do the 4th, or the 3rd. And then we'll go do the top one. And then we'll do the 4 on the corners. So that gives you a fairly accurate little Spyro graph or block design that works up pretty fast. Get the ruler out of here so you guys can see. So that's my Pocket Pebbler 1 and 2. Kind of in a nutshell, and of course there'll be more videos posted using them. There's so many more things. I do have a book that goes along with them called Background Check, and it deals with all 7 of the tools. Let me cut all my strings here, make it all look a little nicer for you. Get my stuff out of the way. And there you go. Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. You can check out more videos at Farrell's Country Stitchin' or Outlaw Longarm Quilting. Have a good day, all.